Whether you're new to handguns, building your battle blaster, or just really like guns that sound like they're named after a protein shake, this is the Ruger RXM. The RXM's got the bones to build on, and the price tag won't make your wallet cry harder than your grouping at 25 yards. Well, until now. Alright team, we're pinned down in the suburban wilderness. The enemy? A mountain of unopened Amazon boxes and Karen's cat. I've only got one mag left. But not just any mag, this is an ETS Omega magazine, forged in the fires of freedom and possibly too much caffeine. Made by Elite Tactical Systems, the Omega mag is clear, durable, has steel guts, and made in the USA, just like your grandma's Jell-O mold that survived 3 Thanksgivings. This mag doesn't jam, it doesn't quit, it doesn't ask questions, it just feeds, like your cousin Todd at an all-you-can-eat buffet. If your mags are flaking like your gym buddy during leg day, it's time to upgrade. Get yourself an Omega mag, because life's too short for malfunction drills. And remember, clear mags save lives, and look really cool doing it. ETS, feed your freedom, clearly. Well, here it is, guys. Ain't she a beaut? This is an RXM, completely decked out, minus a couple things. What I haven't done to this yet was replace the trigger. This is still a stock Ruger RXM trigger. Everything else has pretty much been swapped out. This is the Icarus Precision RXM aluminum grip module, and then this is the Icarus magwell that clips right into that grip module right here. Super easy, just a 1 pin in back and it snaps in. Now what we have up top is where it gets really unique. As you can see, this is the Sig Romeo M17 optic, pretty much only for the Sig M17 and M18 series until now. This slide right here is a collaboration between Icarus Precision, Agency Arms, and Sig Optics, Electro Optics Division, whatever it's called. What you have here, this is the Agency Syndicate slide. It's not a cheap slide. The slide isn't serrated, rather it's got this diamond stippling on it, super nice. And then what Icarus did was they carved it to fit the M17 optic mount. So as you know, that M17 optic mount has a little ear up front that snaps into the slide. Then there's a screw that's mounted through the bottom, which threads right into this rear sight, which is pressed on top of this optic. You have an extremely secure fit. And man, this optic is probably the toughest optic I've ever seen before. Now what's really cool about this optic is you can do a circle dot, which is a circle with a dot right in the middle, or you can do just your red dot, or you can do just a circle. So I really like the circle dot, just like on the Holosun optics. I really like the full reticle. I like how you have your 2032 battery right here on the side. Now one thing I will say, you have to make sure that this is secure, like crank that sucker down. Because I was noticing when I first shot this, the dot was disappearing and I had no idea what was going on. That battery compartment actually felt tight, but I was able to crank it down just a little tighter, and then that's when it was starting to hold and stay on the whole time. I'm going to jump into some of the specs on this optic in a little bit, but first I want to talk about the rest of this. And of course, this is the Surefire X300. We've all seen these before. This right here is a Roscoe Bloodline threaded barrel. I have the threaded barrel because I like to mount things that make the gun a little bit quieter when I shoot sometimes. This is a Tyrant extended mag release. Now I will say, Tyrant CNC mag release right here feels great on the RXM with the Icarus grip module. It doesn't seem to stick out obnoxiously, and my thumb isn't really pressed on it unless I scoot it down a little bit. I have a very high grip, so I like to choke up on a gun a lot. So you can see that mag release is sitting right below my thumb, but not under my thumb. It's not distracting, and I don't accidentally drop my mag. But it sticks out just enough where I can easily release that mag from it. Now, like I said, one thing I haven't done was upgrade the trigger yet. I don't know what trigger I want to go with, so I'm going to do a little research on that. But that's pretty much the last step in completely upgrading this RXM. And this thing ain't cheap. This is, if I had to guess, this is probably the most expensive RXM right now out there. Especially because this optic costs more than the gun itself. The frame costs more than the gun itself, and the slide costs more than the gun itself. I'm not doing this to brag, I'm just saying it's kind of cool that you can take something so basic like the RXM, extremely affordable gun, but since they use that fire control unit, I forget what Ruger calls it, but since they use that fire control unit technology, you can do whatever the heck you want to do to these guns. That's really cool, especially for somebody that likes to customize stuff. Let's talk a little more about this optic, and I'm going to give you guys some details. See these little cutouts right here? You have one on both sides. This is actually a drainage hole. So let's say your gun's inside your holster, it's raining out, the base of the emitter window right here starts filling up with water. It'll come right out of these drainage holes, which sit flush with that window on the back side here. You also have a 2032 battery, which is replaceable from the side. That's cool. There's no reason you should have to take this optic off and re-zero it. Now when you're talking about the reticles, you have a 32 MOA circle or a 2 MOA dot. You can shoot them in combination so you have that circle dot that I was talking about, or you can remove the 2 MOA dot and you have a 32 MOA circle, or vice versa. You just have your 2 MOA dot with no circle around it. Now again, back with the details, and this one's gonna be kind of hard to show you. Right here, right under the optic where it mounts, there's a little lip. That's a gas deflector. This is an enclosed emitter. It's completely sealed and purged and gas filled to keep moisture outside, so you don't have to worry about fogging or anything like that. That shake awake is actually called MOTAC, motion activated illumination. Same thing, if this sees motion, it'll turn your reticle on. If it sees no motion, if there's no motion or movement, it'll turn your reticle off. You have a medium setting continuous runtime of 50,000 hours on this one 2032 battery. And again, the benefit, you can swap it out when it gets low. And then you also have MagnaTac. Now I don't have a holster to test that with, but when your gun is holstered with a compatible holster and then it's drawn from the holster, it'll actually activate the optic on this, and then it'll turn off once it's reholstered again. What the optic encoding right here is called DARK. It's an acronym. So DARK stands for Dark Adaptive Reticle Encoding. So there's a lot of features on this optic, and not to mention it's fully designed and assembled in the USA, which is going to add to that price tag compared to a lot of other optics out there. So it's an American optic. It's going to be a lot more expensive than a non-American optic. You can buy the slide and frame directly from Icarus Precision, and then just go ahead and find yourself a good deal on these M17 optics if that's what you want. Again, the optic mount right here is called the Sig Lock. So you can get yourself a Glock slide with the Sig Lock cut, so you can stick a Romeo M17 on it. When I get the trigger replaced on this thing, it'll be pretty much fully decked out. I might look into doing a custom Cerakote on it too. So no, the Romeo M17 isn't just for SIGs anymore. It's also for Glocks. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later.